as a kid, yeah, that's all I listened to. Grime.
Oh yeah.
All I've listened to. But I think now, do you know where it is? Like, you essentially become your parents. See what they used to listen to. You would hate it back then, yeah, but then
Something goes in.
Yeah.
Killa podcast. KillaOfficial.com.
Yo, this is Kela for the Killa podcast. Firstly, I want to give a big shout out to Surfshark for sponsoring this podcast episode. Surfshark is a VPN service that makes online privacy and protection easy and attainable. 1 minute on tour with Official in Mumbai doing a live stream profile piece. Next minute I'm on road with Conrank doing a podcast. I need a secure VPN, and as we know, a lot of these countries don't allow you on your social media platforms. So how do I combat that? I literally changed my location on the Surfshark app to say that I'm in London instead of Mumbai, and there you go. We're straight into the game, and everything can get uploaded exactly how I want to at record speed. Equally, if you're looking for cheap flights and you're travelling, simply jump on the app, change your location from where you are to somewhere like France or Hamburg, and you immediately get the cheap flights you're looking for. Not to mention, if you're anyone like me and you're travelling and listening to music, everybody knows that iTunes US has an abundance of releases that ain't out on UK iTunes. Simply change your location to somewhere like LA and you're good as gold. To use Surfshark VPN, simply hit the link below, 83% off plus 1 month extra free if you use the promo code Killa Podcast, all one word, okay? Try it for yourself, surf safely. Big shout out to Surfshark. Onto the podcast you've been waiting for.
THTC, the UK's leading ethical streetwear label. Organically grown and ethically built garments from hemp, organic cotton and other sustainable materials. 2019 is their 20th anniversary year. Join me with THTC as a Killa podcast sponsor celebrating music, social activism, hemp and street culture. THTC, eco-fashion redefined since 1999. Beatbox created.
Killa.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. Greenwich Mean Times. Killa podcast, live and direct, central as you need to be in London. I hope it's sunny where you are. It's a pleasure to have you on board. Big shout out to Graffiti Kings handling. Don't forget to subscribe. We don't do this without that. All right, show some love, spread the love. All podcast platforms, Killa podcast. And inside the ride, we have a fellow presenter, a man. Well, some of you may know, some of you may not know. We're going to jump fucking straight into it, man. My guy. Argue inside the place.
What's happening, brother?
Rinse FM finest.
Yes, we're in the building.
How are you?
Nice one, bruv. All good, man. Thanks for the coffee.
Yeah.
Making me cozy and that, you know what I mean?
It is cozy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. We were just talking about the... Actually, you know what? It's really easy to do this stuff if you really apply some creative thought to it, isn't it?
People think you need a load of money and loads of resources to do a podcast, but you really don't.
You don't, do you?
What matters is what's in the heart and your knowledge.
Yeah. And what it's all about is like getting the content in it, getting the right balance of what you want to talk about.
Exactly.
Has that been so? Because, you know, before we start, actually, ladies and gentlemen, you know, my guy has been doing his thing for quite a number of years, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, to be honest. It's only probably the last 2-3 years where I've really been noticed. But yeah, I've been grafting for a long time now.
Yeah, presenting, DJing, going out there doing the thing.
Yeah, started off DJing at a young age. When I was about 12, 13, hanging around in like my local record shop was Big Apple back then.
Oh, Big Apple.
Yeah, Big Apple.
Croydon.
Yeah, in Croydon, yeah, Surrey Street Market. So I just used to go there. I wouldn't say hang about in there, but I used to go there and just like listen to records. And
You know what it's like? You do kind of loiter when we, you know, because that was the place to...
it was,
know
but
what I
I was
mean?
young and shy. Like, I was just literally standing there and just like, can I listen to this, please? Or like, take 10 records and I can only afford to buy one. Do you know what I mean?
Shit got expensive back then too.
Yeah, man. Obviously, saving up your dinner money like everyone used to do. Yeah, that's where I come up from, really. Like, record shops and listening to old school pirate radio stations like Rinse, Freeze FM, like Y2K. Like, yeah, that's where I really started, man. Just listening to pirate radio.
There's some eras there. You should throwing those names out. You know,
Yeah.
I remember that. It's being in a car going from South to North London. That was just like, darling. Next one, darling. It's just the one.
It was mad because where I lived, I couldn't really pick up like Rinse FM, so I used to have to get the hanger with a blue tack, and do you know what I mean? You're literally just standing there for like 2 hours, and then literally as soon as it finishes, you recorded it, Bang, next day you're going into school. Look what I recorded, like in your Walkman, like on the bus.
And then you're OG because you've got the MIDI, you got the tape, you got the thing.
Exactly, man. Like, I've still got a few of the tapes, but a lot of them are gone. That's what I wished I would have kept, like all the stuff, like all the tapes and the DVDs and even my records. Like I don't know why I done this a couple of years ago. I've still got loads of records, but I sold some. So I didn't know. I thought, you know what, like.
New year, new me.
I didn't know what I had. It's like, I don't need this. I'm not ever gonna play records again. I was like, what have I done? I sold like Rhythm and Gash.
Oh no,
Bro, I sold it for about.
What is what? Like you were talking about like
15,
dubs, like rare 12s.
Yeah, bro, I sold it for like £15.
No.
And I got on Discogs the other day and it's worth about £150.
Yeah. It's no
You know
joke.
what I mean?
It's
It's
no
like, what am I
joke.
doing? But it don't matter.
The worst times I've ever had are the ones where I felt like I've had to sell my records because I haven't got the bread.
So back then, I had, but I didn't. It wasn't like I was gonna get evicted from my house or anything. But sometimes you do need the money.
Yeah.
That's the worst, isn't it? When you
It's the
feel like
worst
you
life.
need to.
Bro, it's the worst life.
Yeah.
I remember, like, you know, for the record, I was fucking. There was a good 5 years ago. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do now? You know what I mean? Because I've done the beatbox thing, I've done the music thing, and I'm like, I love it, but like, I just was not connecting, and it just like it run its course. That's what happens.
What's that feeling like when you give everything into music and you feel like it's not connecting? It's horrible, isn't it?
It's horrible. It's horrible, but also you often feel like your glass is half full. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're kind of like on that thing, and I just remember having to galvanise and just like, okay, right, I'm going to sell this jewellery, this thing, you know what I mean? Because I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't do bad things. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have to sell my records.
Yeah.
So records were the first thing that went, you know, I think I made like 60 quid per record, or maybe like 4 or 5 of them. And I felt bad, but needs must, innit?
Yeah, it happens. When you get older and you've got bills to pay and kids to feed or whatever, it gets a bit mad, doesn't it?
London as well.
Yeah, it's expensive,
Living
isn't
in
it?
London,
Yeah.
But you've been Croydon,
Yeah, all my life, basically. I was born in Catford. I don't remember that, though. I only lived there for about 6 months, so... Yeah, Croydon boy.
Croydon.
Through,
Yeah, Croydon was a spot back then. I'm like... Cause Croydon was an interesting one. I mean, I remember the dubstep thing really popped.
I tell you the truth, I didn't really like dubstep. I thought it was like I was a grime head. And then when I heard like the dubstep stuff, like, it's a bit too dark for me and a bit too stripped back. It's only now when I listen back to the old like tubby sets with DWE and that, and I think, nah, this tune.
They jumped on it. The grime guys did jump. Do you know what I mean?
Well, especially DWE, Footsie, obviously towards the end, like P Money did.
Big up Footsie
Blacks.
as well.
Yeah,
Footsie.
yeah. I was.
Boy.
Yep. But yeah, Tubby. I listen to his sets now. Back then, and I thought like, yeah. But the dubstep thing, something I didn't get into it as I probably should have. I was so focused on grime. That's all I used to listen to. Grime. Obviously, I started off listening to garage.
Yeah.
And then the transition sort of happened, and I remember when the first like Sidewinder sets I heard. I was in school, and
How old were you?
Must have been about 12, I think. 12, 13, maybe a bit younger. And it was a Roll Deep set, I think, called Love Shy or something like that. I had Dizzy on. I remember it like yesterday because the needle had broke. So Danny Weed was DJing and he had to play the tunes from the top. No, the headphones were broke. That's what it was.
Old tight Danny Weed, by the way.
Yeah, old tight Danny Weed, old tight Target.
Old tight.
Yeah, he was on your show as
Yeah,
well.
boy,
wasn't he?
yeah, that's
But
my
basically, the headphones had broke, so they had to run tunes from the top. It's literally just running tunes from the top.
Oh, so this was like wicked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Dizzy was smirking it, like Tinchy Strider was on the set, Wiley. I was like, that's when I was like, bruv, this is not garage anymore.
No.
This is like, I was like, what is this? Like, that's when you knew, yeah, something's going on.
Something
here.
was new.
Yeah, this is like
What's Tinchy's crew?
Rough Squad.
Rough Squad.
Yeah.
Do you remember that tune Ting? That tune Ting?
Yeah, what was it? Is it instrumental?
Yeah, but they did a verse on it. They did the whole crew.
Yeah, I know the tune, but I can't remember how the bars went.
I know the whole gang ting. The whole gang ting. Oh, mate, I'm going to have to find it.
You have to find it.
Bro, I think I got it in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Those tape packs.
Anting.
Exactly.
I think I remember you were talking
Exactly.
about. Yeah.
That was
the
my
tape packs were mad.
But mad.
Mad.
And some of them had DVDs and
Towards the end, they started. I remember it was tape. I mean, tape packs. They went to CD packs, and then you'd have the bonus disc with the DVD, like Bonfire Bonanzas and stuff like that.
I've got one in there that's from Jammer's basement.
Oh, is it?
That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah, that era there, man, was when I first discovered. Didn't even know what grime was. It was just whatever. When I first started hearing all like.
How old are you?
Again, like the transition, obviously early like 2000, 2001. It was like garage in it. Like I was listening to Page You Go, Heartless. I was listening to Delight FM a lot. That had So Solid on there. Nick S and Nike had a DJ called Blackjack and Stepper D.
These names, wait.
Yeah, you
Oh,
remember?
Rings.
Like, I used to listen to them a lot.
Shout out Heartless Crew as well.
Yeah, whole site. Yeah, Heartless Crew. I think it was like 2002. The grime thing started kicking in for me, where I started really listening to it, like Dizzy Rascal, like Wiley, Slimzy.
Slimzy, yeah.
Who else did I really like? God's Gift.
God's Gift was fucking...
Yeah, God's Gift. And then like the Eskimo dances started. It happened so quick. 1 minute is garage. It was like Heartless, Pay As You Go. Like I used to love like Play Galero, R.I.P. Major Ace, Maxwell D. And all of a sudden, Pay As You Go split up. Then Wiley's gone this way with like he's got a new crew. Then Carnage and Danny Weed have come in. Then I'm hearing like Flow Down Breeze.
Carnage was a... Oh,
he was one of my favourite DJs. When Slimzy stopped or he disappeared, it was probably Carnage I sort of took to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a blur. It's like it happened so quick. 1 minute is like this dark garage sort of stuff. The next is like you're hearing Eskimo, and there's even a bit before Eskimo. Like I can't remember the instrumentals. Like there was like Killer Hurts and like Agent X stuff.
It's that whole kind of every producer, like Danny, Target, they had sounds. Wiley had crazy snares.
Yeah, he's famous. The Esky snare. The producers, and then obviously you had the Nasty Crew sound. Jammer and like
Mad
Danger and
like
Louis White, Bigger Man. It was great. He had so
glorious,
much stress
man.
back then. It was so. I'm not saying grime was better back then, but you had so much. I think it's because it was new, and you know what it was? It was like it was our culture. Like, it was like the way you dressed, the way like. I don't know, like academics tracksuits, like I don't know, like the teardrop phones, 83, 10s, 80s. It was all that era. It was like a golden era. I don't know if I'm biased.
Teardrop phones,
Do you know
I remember them. Yeah,
Do you know? I think it's because we was born around that time and we was growing up with them. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. Like,
well, like I said, I mean, I mentioned it with Target, and I mentioned it before we went on. It's like my world was battle centric. It was like beatbox battles, freestyle rap battles, like 8 Miles to the Wire kind of things, and graph and fucking all that sort of thing. There was an aggressive athleticism, and when people were sending for each other in grime, that's when I was like, fuck, like, all right, now we're talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Real kind of like male testosterone driven shit, but it was like, that's my shit. I love that, you know. And there was a lot of that back then.
there was some notorious, like I remember like the Lethal B Wiley beef, like Fire Camp versus Roll Deep. That seemed, I don't know if it would, that seemed like they hated each other. That seemed like
don't see them
you
on the streets
almost
together.
had to take sides.
Yeah.
You all like it's like it made you not want to listen to Fire Camp because I was like a Roll Deep fanboy back then. It was like, nah, I don't like Fire Camp.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not listening. But obviously, you listen back now, you think them wars were so tight.
Yeah.
Lethal B and Wiley clash was so tight, and like Lethal B, like you got to give him credit. He was a sick MC, but back then he was so. I didn't see it because I was I love Roll Deep. You're not even listening to like Lethal B Sam when he's actually clashing him.
I get it because you've already drawn your.
You've made your mind up. I grew up on Wiley, Dizzy and that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, nah, I'm with these lot. It's like you're taking sides without even knowing it.
You know, as well, like with that era, sometimes their vocals to somebody that was just into rap music.
Yeah.
The delivery was quite crass and quite hard, and I think that's what made it so like exclusively British.
It was so raw and just
You know what I mean?
stuff they would say.
Lethal B was like, he had a real kind of in-your-face crash voice.
Lethal B, it was only a couple years ago when I was listening back to certain things, like Lethal B had Wiley on his toes. Yeah. He had him on his toes. I remember them
They were
war
titans,
dubs. Them war dubs, like the Fire Camp war dub for them. What was it? They had some mad war, bruv. I'll have to get up there, the mad war dub for Roll Deep. I'm like, nah. But yeah, the flows and the stuff, it was more direct back then. I feel like there was no rules. No. I feel like now there's not rules, but it's all. Back then it was just so loose and aggressive and just, it was raggo.
Yeah.
It was just rags.
It's come to play more recently with Stormzy and Wiley. But
It's not the same though,
It's
is
not
it?
the
It's
same,
like
yeah.
it's war dubs, innit? It's not like, how can I put it? It's not. It's exciting. It's very exciting. But back then it was like, well, 1 minute you'll be listening to, I don't know, Deja Vu, Wiley spitting, and the next fucking, sorry, can I swear? Of
course.
Lethal Beast turn up. And they're going back to back, or do you know what I mean? It was like, so you wouldn't know what's going on, and you had to listen to pirate radio to know what's going on. Now you've got so much choice, like the Stormzy and Wiley thing's so exciting, it's so good, but it's like you don't have to listen to it there and then, innit? Like you can listen to it back, like you can listen to it in 2 days' time if you don't want to listen to the dub. But back then it was like, it was on the spot.
on the spot.
It was on the spot, or you're going Sidewinder, or you're going Young Man Standing.
Where was Young Man Standing? Where was that?
Stratford Rex.
Rex.
And you would know, that, look, Wiley and I don't know, all in one, or someone's got beef and he's going to be there later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
now
totally.
it's really good now. Like, I never thought that I'd ever see Wiley and Stormzy go at it, and I didn't ever think Stormzy would send back. And I think Stormzy's first dub was so sick. Wiley's second
He had
dub
no
was sick.
choice but to, really, when you think about it. He's got
In a
lot
way,
riding.
I think he did have a choice, because people would say Stormzy is like, he's like the king of our thing, people would say. Like, he's the most popular. So I feel like, in a way, he didn't probably have a choice.
had
to
a
be
lot of
honest.
riding on it, a lot of risk.
Yeah, but they both done well, and I think they've both
Yeah,
both
so did
come out on
Wiley.
top.
Yeah, that's true. Wiley did too.
Yeah, man. It's exciting, but back then it was different. I feel like back then it was. Do you know? It's a different age now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's still, I think if I was young now, and this Wiley and Stormzy thing was happening, I'd be like, oh my god, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Do you know what I mean? So it's like their equivalent to when we was like listening to Wiley versus Dukes, or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's mad.
It's because we've seen it before.
Yeah.
That's where it is. But imagine we never experienced that. Because a lot of people, it's their first time experiencing like a battle rap or a war dub thing.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I'm saying? Between big major artists, it's the first time people have like encountered this sort of thing. To us, it's normal. We know we've heard so many war dubs flying about since the early thousands, but for a lot of the new fans, they've never experienced
never
it.
experienced
And two
that.
heavyweights like that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, if we hadn't experienced that before, we would be like, "Oh my god, this will probably be this is the best clash in history."
Mad. Yeah.
Definitely the
Well,
highest
it's definitely
profile.
without question in the last 5 years.
Yeah, 100%. The only thing that there's nothing that's rivaling it. Like, one before this was the Dot Rotten and the P Money one. That was really good.
That feels like a while ago now, though.
That's only 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I think.
But back in the day when you used to have sends, like people were just like coming out woodwork. Actually, that's what happened with Stormzy. I noticed like everyone was jumping in and getting involved, like Grime and all them.
Yeah, a lot of people started, coming out from the woodwork. I think it's still going on. Like, people sending for each other left, right, and centre. But it's what the scene needs, though. Because I remember before this, everyone was saying Grime's dead. Like, people always say, because he's not in the public eye, people say Grime's dead.
I hate when people say things are dead just because they've removed it from their.
That's all
point
it
of
is.
view.
Never like, I don't know how many times people say probably drum and bass is dead. Or
Yeah. The drum
garage
is
is
dead. Dubstep's dead.
Scenes never die. They just go for a bit of a quiet patch. But the main people always still do it.
I'm gonna be spicy, and not that I'm in any way particularly qualified to suggest anything further than what I'm about to say as a statement. When I listen to Stormzy, and this is what I'm just referring to, originality compared back then compared to now. Stormzy, his timbre in his voice, a little bit deeper, but has got certain tones of Dizzy in it.
I never thought of that. Maybe.
Listen to what he kind of brings. And again, this is only from a ear point of view. I'm not saying the flow is like it.
You saying his voice?
I'm saying there are certain characteristics in the way he delivers and
When
says
his voice
things.
goes a bit,
Yeah.
a bit more. I know what you're
Wider.
trying to say.
It got wider in the
I know what
throat.
you mean. And Dizzy was the king of that. I know what you're saying now. Actually, yeah. But for me, when Dizzy was in his prime, I don't think there was no greater MC.
No greater MC,
Nah.
agreed.
Nah, Dizzy Rascal.
He attacks that shit so
and what he
hard.
was saying back then, bruv, Dizzy Rascal was the guy. And you know what? He was only in his peak in Grime probably wasn't even that long, like 2 years. Then obviously he blew and done whatever he was doing.
Clear. Then it turns out he's more into like drum and bass and hip hop and things like that.
Yeah,
which,
but
you know,
bruv, Dizzy, like for me, like hearing Dizzy, I wouldn't say changed my life, but bruv, it made me think from a different perspective. Like,
yeah, for real.
What is he saying? Like the stuff he was saying, no one else was saying, and it was so relevant to what we was living back then. If you go back and hear what he was saying, I don't even want to say the lyrics, but it was an era when people like your phones are getting robbed, like mad stuff. I don't even want to go.
we can't go into it. We can't go into it. 'Cause, I was just thinking back then. I said, I can't say that.
Yeah,
it
was a mad era.
Yeah. But look at the era he comes from, right? So the camp he came from, Trimble.
Trim,
Flow
hold
down.
tight, Trim. He's another one. Oh, Trim.
His
He's probably one of the
flow-
most talented guys that's ever come out of Grime. Like lyrics for lyrics, Trim he's a genius.
He sounded like when he was doing a verse, right? It sounded like he was unpacking his verses and then repacking them. He was saying things in a particular way that you don't know where he's going to, but he'll say it anyway. Kind of shit like that. You know what I mean?
Trim, obviously, yeah, because Dizzy left and then Trim come in there. People were saying Trim was Dizzy's replacement. But bruv, Trim, wow.
Boy.
Trim.
That's an MC's
Trim.
MC.
Yeah, now Trim. He's a good guy, man. Every time I've seen him, he's never showed me nothing but respect.
I met him, I don't know.
Yeah, he's gave me a lot of good advice that I've, you know what I mean, it stays with me to this day, man. So hold tight, Trim.
Yeah. Another MC of the era that also translates, because, you know, Trim is also into his hip hop kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Dirty Goods.
Boy, here's another one. His flow. His flow, bruv.
Fire.
Bruv, you're bringing up some names. Bruv, Dukes, yeah. His flow, what he would say and the way he would say it. And when he would spit over certain beats, you'd be like, oh my God. I remember the clash that him and Wiley had at Eskimo Dance. I think Wiley's openly said that's the only clash he thinks he knows that he's lost. Yeah, Dukes.
I think they've been in the studio with each other since, or more recently, I think.
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago, I think they might have.
I remember seeing it on the...
Yeah, I think they was even going to do a project together at one point.
Yeah,
if
I
I'm
think
not
so.
mistaken, yeah, I think they was, yeah.
Mate.
Yeah, Dukes, a lot of people don't know about how dangerous he was. And he still is. He was dangerous, that guy, man, on
His
the
new
mic.
shit's just like...
Yeah, he done that thing. I think he released it on Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Santa Claus.
Santa,
Santa.
yeah, the Santa Claus thing. Yeah, man. Yeah, Dukes, he was another one of my favourites. Wiley definitely was.
Wiley,
Titch definitely was.
Jamie, man. And I know you've had the preview of like...
Jamie, yeah.
Because just for reference, like for people that may not know, that you're doing this legacy piece, aren't you, for Rinse?
Yeah, it started before I was on Rinse, but it's something I've carried on. It's called Grime History Lesson, and that's where I gather up old artists that was around back in the day, and just to educate the people that maybe not be aware now. Obviously, I'm not trying to hold on to nostalgia or anything like that, but some people want to know what people's stories. For me, what I do, yeah, is a bit selfish. Like, there's certain things I want to know. And I think as a fan, because I am a fan, so I'm thinking, what do I want to know? I want to maybe interview JME or interview God's Gift and ask them the questions that I think the fans want to know. It's not even rocket science. I'm just doing it's a bit selfish. I want to know myself, so I might as well interview
All day,
them,
all day.
and you lot can see it as well. It's for me, really. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
That's right. It becomes your own personal journey of like exploration. And what happens is if you're passionate about the thing enough, then it unlocks doors that you're thinking, well, if anyone else is following me on this journey, then they're going to like this because I've just talked to him about this and he's saying that this is the shit.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, man. So yeah, the Jamie interview is, it's probably probably my favourite one because he's so hard to pin down. Like you can't just interview Jamie. Usually, so.
Why is that? Is he just like, is he...
I don't think, no, it's not hard to pin down, but I don't know.
I believe him when he says, I'll be there. I totally believe him.
Do you know what? So do I. But you know what it's like when you're interviewing people and when you say come at 8 o'clock, 5 past. You know that feeling like he's not going to turn up.
Yeah, I do.
This is why I pre-record my shows, a little secret, because if you're pre-recording them, at least he's not live. And it messes up your whole show.
Bro, this is my shit.
I've been fortunate that it's not really happened to me many times, but pre-recording is the way forward. But I remember the day, it was, I think 29th of December. And it was like 5 minutes past. I was like, oh, is he going to come?
Please, man.
All of a sudden, he just walks through the door. I was like, I thought you bottled it. It's like, bottled what, bro? I'm here. So, that interview was really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Did you think you exercised and squeezed every bit? Because, you're now talking to somebody
It was an hour, bruv.
Really? Why?
After the hour was up, it was like there was so much more we wanted to talk about. But I think sometimes 2 hours would be too long. It gets boring, innit?
It does get boring.
It gets boring, innit?
Well,
so
I don't know.
You've got to take that out. You've got, an hour. Bruv, because I'm such a fan, I could talk to him for 3 hours and not think it's boring.
Yeah.
But for the average listener, even maybe an hour could be too long.
That's right, yeah.
So...
Yeah, you can't trust your own judgment, can you? Because, the conversation we had before we got on here...
We was talking for about an hour. Easily.
Hour.
We had to cut it short because we let's start the podcast.
We weren't even talking about music.
Exactly. No,
We weren't even talking about music. We were just on some other shit.
Yeah.
And, And actually, now you come to mention it, Jamie, he is on some other shit. He's on some snowboarding, techers shit. He loves all that shit.
Yeah, he does,
Rollerblade, booting and that.
Yeah, he's
He brought that to the game, I think.
He said, I think in an interview where he felt like he didn't fit in the music thing. I don't know if he said it in those actual words, but he felt like the thing I'm getting from him, I think he knows he's different and he knows he's not the same as every other MC, and he brought that to the game. Even with his flow, I remember first he was quite an aggressive MC and the stuff he would say. Then he went to the positive stuff, and even when you hear his bars now, he doesn't talk rubbish. Everything he's saying is a meaning. There's always a meaning behind it, or like
in rhymes and things like that.
Yeah, there's he's as an MC, that guy, man, and even his production. I wanted to talk to him more about his production, but he's such an underrated producer. Yeah, man. Yeah, Jamie, that interview was good. It was a good way to start off the year.
His whole family's like a fucking...
Yeah, there's something in that family.
There's something in the genes,
there
bro.
is, man. Skepta as well.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
Julie.
Yeah, totally. What's it like up in Rinse at the moment? How is it?
Yeah, it's keeping it moving. I'm just keeping it moving. Rinse FM, again, something, it's a station I grew up listening to. And one of my things was back in the day, I always wanted to set on Rinse. But back then I was just a DJ. I didn't care about presenting. I was just mixing on the 1 and 2. Just like literally mixing. I didn't care about presenting or being a host. So me presenting the host on the Rinse is... Sometimes you can't think too deep because you'll start getting a bit, oh my God, I'm on Rinse, this was my dream. You start getting complacent. And you got to But back then, if you would have told me, I would have had a show on Rinse FM, I would have been over the moon. That's all I ever really wanted. Yeah. But there's a saying, there's never enough, is it?
No.
When you get on Rinse and you're gone.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. When you get into those situations, because you've done so much fucking grind, it's almost like, not a given, that's the wrong term, but you know what it took to get there, and you don't ever get a chance to really sit back and appreciate it.
You don't, because there's always goals. You never get, when I got on Rinse, back then, if you would have told me I was on Rinse, I would have thought, oh my God, but you don't appreciate. I'm not saying I don't appreciate it, but you're always thinking about the next thing. All right, cool, I've just had JME on. Who am I going to follow that up with?
Totally, dude.
What's the next thing I'm going to do? How can I build a real legacy. So you don't really appreciate it. Maybe I don't know. I don't even drink like that. But I don't know. Perhaps when you've had a couple drinks, you're a bit merry, and you get a bit. Oh my God, I've like when I was 13, I wanted to do this. I'm doing this now. But you don't ever really appreciate it. And you know what? That's a winner's mentality.
Yeah.
Winners don't ever. Yeah. They don't sit back and think, oh my God, I've made it. It was like, what's the next one? What's the next one? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You like that's what.
It's like the follow up, isn't it? It's like...
Yeah, it's never enough. I don't know. Perhaps when we were like 50, 60. And like retired or whatever, and you think, you know what, we've actually done all right. You got to be living in the moment. There's so much things to do, like yourself. Like how I didn't even know about your podcast until about a month ago when I messaged you. I was like, bruv, what you're doing, like you're tapping into a market that no one has tapped into, but people are so passionate about it.
Passionate.
Do you know what I mean?
But it's the same with the grime thing. I appreciate you saying that, bro, honestly, because that was why we connected.
It was
on so many levels we connect. You know what I mean? So it's like, and what I love is that your trajectory as well, and what you're doing with the grime thing, it's coming at such the right time. You've got these the stalwarts, the people that were part of the underground movement at the beginning. They're now selling out arenas, and you get these other pockets that aren't selling out arenas but have got so much legacy and stuff to talk about. And then you've got the young guns, and there's so many areas where you could really start documenting.
That's what I'm doing. Like obviously, like I said, this has been running for about 2 years, but the station I was on went down, and I took a little break. So it's only now where I'm doing more regular stuff on Rinse. I'm on there every other week, so I can really start kicking on again. I'm really happy where I am, like on the station. Like I feel I'm part of it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm bringing something different that no one's doing, like yourself. That's the key. You need to do things that serves a purpose and not try and do something that everyone else is doing. Yeah, because it's hard to cut through, especially being a DJ now. Just being a sole DJ,
impossible. It's
impossible. Like back in my day, all I wanted to do was be like. I wanted to be like the next DJ Funny or Slimzy. But in this day and age, it's not possible. You can't just DJ. There's no... you can't just DJ.
I agree. It's crazy to think that you made it
The new
through.
people can't just DJ. And I think the way I made it through was from doing the interviews. And being a DJ as well.
The charisma that you hold in front of the...
If I was just a DJ, it's like, okay, what can I really bring to the table from just a DJ? Because in this day and age, you can go and buy all the tunes I'm playing. Obviously, I do get exclusive and stuff, but you can go and buy all the tunes off iTunes. You can. It's so accessible now. You need to have something about you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm lucky enough that...
What's the secret? I mean, without giving too much of your bottled magic juice away.
You need to need to find your niche, and you need to be a bit unique and a bit different, and you got to believe in something, and you want to stand for something.
And passionate about it.
Yes. Like what you do, the people you interview, I know you're passionate about it. Like with me, the people I interview, I'm not going to interview someone because they're number one in the charts. It doesn't make sense to me. The best interviews is where you're not interviewing them, you're talking, and I don't have to write down questions. I write down little pointers, but I'm not writing down questions like, okay, number 4, how did you get into music? Like, nah, I already know about that person anyway because I've followed their career. Yeah. So it's just like what I want to know, like with yourself. You're asking the people you get on what you want to know from your personal experiences. So I think that's the secret. You've got to know what you're doing, and you don't come in this music thing thinking you want to earn a bit of money or you want a bit of fame, because it might work, but you won't last. Yeah. You won't last.
It's knowing your lane, innit? It's knowing what you're...
You got to know what you want out of it. Yeah. You've got to really know what you want. Obviously, when I first started DJing, I just wanted to play... I just loved music, innit? I was a bit naive. I just loved music. I just wanted to mix tunes. Like, and then as I started getting into it, it's like I want to interview people that are really... And I feel like the questions I ask them, no one else is going to ask, but I think you can tell when I'm interviewing people, I'm passionate about it and I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and that's really important. Did you know that was what you wanted to do at the time when you was... There must have been this moment where the penny dropped and you're like, you know what? I've probably got about fucking 2.5 years left of this. I'm going to fucking try and do this.
Yeah, no, I was about 22, 23. And I thought, you know what? I weren't even doing nothing. I don't think I was working. Just, you know what happens when you're early 20s, you're not really serious about anything, having fun and stuff. And I thought, you know what? I want to start DJing again, and I really want to give it a go and stick to it. And since then, I've never stopped.
Yeah.
I thought I met up with my friend. I met a mate called Cave Johnson, old type Missing Link as well. He's like a friend I've known for years. I told them, look, I want to start a label, and I want my mate Cave Johnson to make the beats. Missing Link was like helping me behind the scenes.
Damn,
And yeah,
alright.
he was helping me. Like I used to go around his house. I was living around his house for a period of time. Basically, just there every day. And yeah, I had a group of people around me, and I thought, yeah, I want to start a label, and he's going to be the producer. I want to be the DJ. I want to play the beats around everywhere. And then, yeah, we was doing that for a couple of years. Then I felt like I wanted to not do my own thing, but I wanted to become a personality. So I was just DJing under the label's name. I didn't even I weren't even using Argue or anything like that. So I thought, I want to be my own thing now and do my own thing. And then I joined Radar Radio. I started DJing on there and working on there. Then I think that's where my career properly started. Yeah.
I feel like aggression comes into play. Like you said there that you were living around people's houses, you weren't really doing anything and nothing. But then when you caught the bug and you're doing it, you want to set up a label. I think for all the truest people, and I say this, subjectively to this, you do, it's fight or flight. It's all or nothing.
It is
What the
literally...
fuck are you going to do? Like,
Well, I was like 22, 23. If I hadn't done it then, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. Like, you go for a stage where you got no money. You don't know how you'll get into. We was going to rap. We was on a station in Enfield called Empire FM at the time. We was in Croydon. Like, we had a graveyard shift 1 till 3 in the morning. Get home at 5. I don't know how I was even paying for it.
that's crazy.
Petrol money. Like, I don't know how I was even eating.
It's a lifestyle, isn't it? The whole pirate era.
I'll never change it. Like, I'll never change it. Like, it was so mad. There was like one of the best days of my life.
How much of Corrupt FM People Do Nothing comes into your mind when you see that show and you think to yourself,
I never really watched it that much, you know. I'm not even gonna lie. No, I don't know why I didn't, but I don't know what I was doing. Perhaps I was too busy doing music.
Yeah.
But I never really watched it. I watched, I think, 1 or 2 like episodes of it. But I hear what you're saying. The Corrupt FM thing. It's like because I wasn't there back in the day. I was so young. I wasn't on pirate radio. I was like a bedroom DJ or mixing in the local youth club and stuff like that. So to
watch a parody of it is like a whole different thing.
But even when I first started getting back into DJ, like Empire FM at the time, it was a pirate. So
everything was pirate. And I remember it so well, bro. Like, fucking hell. I mean, the list of. I remember having to go to different pirate radios. I had like when my first 12-inch come out. Right, I had a list of nothing but pirate radio stations. With addresses. Right, you got to go there at 1, go there at 3, go there at 7, go there at 10.
Pirate radio was a mad like. People used to risk their lives to go on that, risking their records. Like I have conversations like with some of the old school DJs that were living that pirate life, and I'm jealous.
Yeah, like the battles between them internally.
Yeah. It's mad, like. But we've got it good now. People can. It's so easy to get into music now. That's what you really want to do. But I feel like not enough people actually want to do it for the right reasons anymore.
What's the reasons you think are mostly what they live by the most?
I'm not saying all the people, but I think a lot of the people now, they want the fame and the girls and. You know, but you know what I mean. When you're younger, that never ever crossed my mind. I was always just wanted to be a DJ. It wasn't really glamorous to be a DJ, was it? It was like the MCs were at the forefront of everything.
Got a strong back for those record boxes and shit.
Yeah, I've still got my record box.
But you're young'un. You're still young. You're a young gun. You know, it's like that's what's impressive the most is like your ethics on radio. The principles that you apply. They're like a work. It's your work. It's like this is your shit, and like it doesn't seem like you falter. It's like that's what you're doing.
Obviously, there's hard times that you think, when am I gonna get my break? Like, when am I gonna you can't quit. You come so far, like you can't. There's no way you can. I've seen so many success stories where people older than me or whatever, like they didn't quit, and then somehow they make it. I know it's a cliche thing, saying never quit, but it literally is that. You keep going, you will get recognised. Like yourself, you've been doing this for years. It's only the last couple of months where I've realised you're doing this podcast. Then you dig deeper and I find out, oh, you was doing this from, you know what I mean? From time ago.
But you got to keep going.
It takes that one thing. I literally accidentally come across your podcast. Literally accidentally. And I started going through all your stuff. I was like, right, he's interviewed this person.
Yeah.
He's doing like the music stuff. He's interviewing old school like artists that sort of painters and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'm stoked. It's almost like giving me a new thing.
It is. It's like you're, bruv, like it's mad. You don't know who's watching you.
And you never know. It's when you step off the ride, like you were saying. It's when I'm going to stop DJing now. That you realise 6 months later how far you've come. And you think to yourself, I should have
Obviously, you have breaks. I've had breaks. I've never ever stopped. There's times where I've slowed down, and you have to. Real life gets in the way, and you have to reflect on things. But I've never, in the last 7 years, I don't think I've ever actually said, "Oh, I've quit. I'm stopping." Never, because it's come too far.
What's the hardest point? What's the hardest point in a day of DJ Argue? What's the and not the hardest actually? What's the DJ Argue day? Average. Like what is it on a day in the life of someone that's about to go and do radio?
All right, yeah, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was on a radio station in Brighton, breakfast show. I was guesting on someone called Kovu, his show. I had to get there for like 9 a.m, so I woke up about 7 o'clock.
Peak ticket prices.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. Old type Southern Rail. Yeah. So I got
Every
there
day.
for like 9 on there, met a mate for a bit of lunch. Then I had to go and check out a venue actually for somewhere I want to do some stuff. So that was...
Where was that?
That was in Old Street.
So you went back to Old Street?
Yeah, then I went back to Old...
Did you say that?
Yeah, I went to Old Street. Yeah, connected with some people there. Today, the prime example, I'll come to meet you to do the baddest podcast on the road.
Come on, cousin.
And then straight after, I'm going to Rinse FM to pre-record the show.
Pre-record. See, and I admire that.
Yeah.
The pre-record life.
Do you know why I
that you're saying.
pre-record? Because I know in my head I've done it. My show comes out. This is the specialist show I'm doing. So obviously I do my talk-based show. And I still need to have my specialist show where I'm just mixing to feel like I am arguing. Like I'm not just host and just... Do you know what I mean? That's what I originally started doing. I still like to play music. So I'll do a specialist show on there once a month as well. So I'm going to go and pre-record that. And there's no better feeling putting your feet up and listening to yourself on the radio. And you know it's coming out live. It's so sick.
That is so sick.
Yeah, because I listen to it like it's not me. And I'm critical like, I listen to it like it's not me.
I love that.
Do you know what I mean? So
it's third party. Yeah, you separate yourself from it. Is it downloadable? Can we? I mean, is it?
Yeah. Everything's downloadable.
Rinse is international. Like,
SoundCloud.com/RinseFM. You can catch all my podcasts on there, or YouTube.com/RinseFM. You can see all my video content on there. But bruv, like I was doing this full time, like literally full time. I was A&Ring and working before. I was working on a radio station. I was like head of grime on Radar Radio. Before all of this.
Yeah, hold on. This is news, really.
Yeah.
So you were A&Ring Radar Radio as a head of.
I was the head of grime on there for 4 years.
Fuck.
Yeah, for 4 years. That was my day job. And I had my show on there as well. So that was my life.
Oh,
it still is my life, but obviously
like,
I'm not doing that anymore because obviously the station's gone down or whatever.
Levels, like you put in the fucking.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Like for 4 years, like we was like programming, like getting DJs on there.
See, I feel like I only know like a quarter of your.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You've come full circle and you're on some other.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I was doing.
And there's me, fucking, your legacy championing the grime scene, but they've known you from fucking time.
Yeah, man, that was my life. It still is, but
I'm not.
That is not my day job, like at the moment. But it was crazy them days, man.
Yeah.
Just on the radio all the time, just trying to get other DJs on the station.
That's cold, bro.
Yeah, man, it gets.
But a lot of people to thank you for.
Yeah, a lot of people are thankful, and I'm thankful to a lot of people as well that have given me the opportunity to work with them, and the people that have helped me on my journey. To be honest,
They never leave you, do they? Especially on the early doors when the people that...
No, I always... Sometimes when I do interviews, I forget to big people up. Because there's so many people that have been influential and helped, like, on the way. Like, sometimes there's so many... I'll be here for ages. Like, but, yeah, the journey's mad. And I feel like the journey's just begun,
Yeah,
really.
that's the thing.
So,
That's the thing. Yeah, you're young gun still, bro. Like, it's still fucking... You got... Yeah, you got ages. You got fucking time. What other music you into? What other stuff? What bangs for you?
What am I listening to at the listen to a lot of the old stuff, like just normal, like you call it maybe pop or whatever. I listen because obviously, like, I grew up in the 90s, didn't I? So I listen to a lot of, like, now if you go through my Spotify, I've got anything to, like...
What are the sins in the Spotify headphones?
One of the sins probably Fleetwood Mac. Ooh. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac.
Come on.
I listen to a lot of. Do you know, I listen to a lot of stuff. It's like depends what mood I'm in. There's loads of stuff.
Fleetwood Mac's. Oh,
come on, man! I listen to a lot of old school garage. What is on my Spotify?
Yeah, let's pull them out. Put it out.
Well, let's pull it out.
Let's see what's the...
I'll show you my last 5 liked things. Got a bit of Kanye on there, Kanye West.
Yes.
Basement Jacks, you can't, bruv.
Come
Basement Jacks.
Old Type Felix,
Like
Old Type Sly.
I've got a bit of Skepta on there.
Yeah.
What else have I got? Hitmaker's Crew. That tune, Walking on the Dream, that's a tune.
Oh my God,
that is a tune. That tune is mad.
Yeah.
Someone called Pizza Go, I really like him. He's like, I don't even know what sort of music he does. Old Type Pizza Go, bit of Snoop Dogg.
You are 100%.
There's bare stuff. Like,
you are
bare stuff,
holding
like,
your Spotify down well.
Yeah, man. Like, but I don't listen to as much grime as I used to. Because as a kid, yeah, that's all I listened to. Grime.
Oh, yeah.
All I've listened to. But I think now... do you know where it is? Like, you essentially become your parents. See what they used to listen to? You essentially... You would hate it back then, yeah, but then...
Something goes in
actually, she's like, this was a banger.
I love that.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like...
you become everything you were against.
Yeah,
bro.
so that's where it is. I listen to loads of tunes. Like, it depends.
How many tunes do you reckon that you could... If someone said, do you know that song? And you're like, yeah, I could rap them word for word. But you've never owned the record. You've just heard it being played on the station.
Oh, loads.
Too many, right? I remember in the clubs, it used to be the same with me. Like, there's so many songs that I could run off like lyrics for, but I've never owned a copy ever.
There's loads of tunes, man. Music's such a powerful thing. You don't understand how it can change your mood and how certain tunes I listen to, it will remind me of a day or when this happened or when my girlfriend split up with me. Or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mad stuff, like mad stuff, man. I've gone through so many different states, but grime's the one thing that's always stuck with me. Even when I listen to new grime tunes, like the other day, yesterday, I was listening back to one of my rinse sets, and there was an MC I've done a show with the other day, someone called Shiesty.
Oh, hold tight, Shiesty.
Yeah, he's hard.
Yeah.
Listen, I was waiting for a tram. Because we got trams in Croydon, isn't it? Waiting for a tram, I don't get that feeling from no other music where I can't control myself. I have to like skank wherever I am. Grime can do that for me, man. Like grime, I've never stopped listening to grime. Never.
What's the contenders? What's the top MCs that you're in at the moment?
I really like Shiesty, that guy Shiesty. He's really good.
Strally?
Yeah, Lyrical Strally. Yeah, I like the YGG lot. Yeah. We're talking about like underground MCs, like this.
Any that's on the way up or
on the way. Yeah, Shiesty. I really like Ghostly.
See, these are new names.
Yeah, new names. You got the obvious ones like the new guys coming up like Tommy B, SBK. I've worked with them a lot in the past. Always get put on the spot. It's like who the new MCs I like. Old Type Jams. He's not new, but these are the people that I don't know. You might not be aware of. Like Jams. You got people like Big Zoo.
See, this is good for the people that check out the podcast. You mean these are like new names?
Yeah, these are people that maybe like especially flying the flag for grime
Mac as well. Like they're a whole new band that's just coming straight out of America.
Like, there's loads of new artists. there's loads of new grime artists that OGs. I think Skepta's last album, that what was it called again?
What's the geezer that did the single with him? But there's a proper like a Joker scene. The geezer looked like Lil Wayne jumping around with a big suit on. What was the name of that guy?
When?
Recently. It was the new album, and it was the new single, and it was like a bank job, like a bank raid.
What's his name? It was Grease Mode, wasn't it?
Grease Mode.
On her knees.
Yeah,
what's
that's it.
his name called again? What's he called? It's gonna annoy me. I'm gonna go on the thing now.
He's kind of. I think he's like more kind of
That's
Afrobeaty. Right? It's a tune. I know.
What's it called? Look, I've got it here. Look, Ignorance is Bliss. What's his name? Nath Smalls.
Yeah.
That's
a tune.
This Skepta album, I think for me is the best album that come out last year. That's the only album I think, for me personally, since Boy in the Corner, where
the level got up.
No, I don't skip a tune.
Don't skip a tune.
Nah, I can listen to every single tune on there.
I need to get into that album.
That album, bro, I think it's for me, what he's talking about and stuff like that, I can relate to it. When I can relate to something, and when he says something, and I'm like, yeah, I really... For me, music's about feeling, and what he says, I feel it. It hits my... That album, for me, is one of the best albums that have come out last year.
What about like JK and Grim Sickers and...
JK...
Manga.
Yeah, Manga.
This Camp.
Yeah, Manga, yeah.
They're on their own thing. This is a whole kind of...
JK, like, I really admire him as well, because I've followed his journey for a little while now, and the way he's turned into an artist is amazing. Manga as well. I think a lot of people... back in the Roll Deep days, he wasn't my go-to MC, but now he's his own person.
He's trusted, isn't he?
He will never hear a weak song from Manga. He's a good person as well.
Yeah.
He's a good person, Manga. I've got a lot of time for him. Yeah, there's a lot of new artists about as well, and there's a lot of the older generation that have reinvented themselves. Like Manga's probably the king for that.
Yeah.
You come from the biggest crew, Roll Deep, and a lot of the Roll Deep boys now a few of them aren't doing much.
I want Scratchy to do something.
Yeah, Scratchy. I think he's on his health tip now. I think I follow him on Instagram. I think he does all the weights and stuff. He's in a gym and stuff. The only people from Roll Deep that are really still predominantly actually releasing music is Manga, Flowdan, obviously Wiley, Danny and Target are like they're doing their thing.
Yep.
Jamaica, he's like running things. I think that's it though, isn't it?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like from the original members, I'm not talking like your Skeptas and like Tinchy Strike. I'm talking about like
the golden era.
Oh, Rico as well. He's doing his thing. Old tight Rico.
There's another name.
Yeah,
man.
Rico. He's still doing well.
Every name you've just like mapped out, I can pick the style. They all come with different identities.
They do. Roll Deep was. What was your favourite Grand Cru? Like back in the day?
Roll Deep. I remember when Rules and Regulations came out. That mixed.
That was a banging mixtape.
That was just a level. Like that
was like an album.
Yeah, I know.
And
Pen Pals, bro.
Pen
That Pen Pals beat. I told Target about. I told him about that beat.
Yeah, that had Hickory. Is that the Hickory Dickory Dock?
That was a fucking album. That wasn't a mixtape.
Yeah, that Roll Deep for me. But a lot of people forget about Nasty Crew.
Ooh.
But for me, because I couldn't really pick up Deja.
Yeah.
I wasn't a Nasty Crew boy. Like I was a Roll Deep boy, innit?
Yeah.
Like I was over that side.
Yeah.
But Nasty Crew, like I think they had the most talent in a crew.
Yeah.
Like with DWE, Kano, Gets, Storming, RIP.
Oh my God, that DWE, man. We cannot have a fucking podcast.
Sharky Major.
We can't not talk about DWE and what he's brought to the fucking scene.
He could be the greatest MC of all
I'm kind of saying that he's unsung, which is a win. He's got his own style. He definitely, I feel like he definitely derives from a drum and bass era.
And I'll tell you what, you'll do well to find the MC in a grime scene that can tear down a rave like DWE. And for the past 20 years, he's been doing that. Like,
I swear, he gets paid for that. That's it.
That's what he needs to do.
Just walk in.
And he's actually like, he's sick, man. Footsy's sick as well.
Hold tight, Footsie, man.
Hold tight, Monkey as well.
Yeah. Footsy's coming on podcast.
Is he coming on?
Yeah, I think next month, which would be probably
Yeah,
this
that'll be
month
a good. You'll have a good conversation with him.
Yeah, nice
He's,
bloke, yeah? Yeah,
Footsie's
fucking-
good. Yeah,
yeah.
he's cool, man. He's
Love that.
he's
Kano, hold tight, Kane.
yeah, Kane. Yeah,
Mate,
nasty
we're just
thing.
like name drop. You know what I mean? We'll pick them all up later.
Yeah, we're name dropping.
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah,
man.
but listen, it's, you know what I mean? Again, I don't get enough of what I would want in terms of grime coming in. So I really appreciate you fucking coming through.
No problem,
bro.
man.
You know
No
what I
problem.
mean? It's a vibe.
Yeah.
What's and I'm only looking at the time, so I don't want to fucking late you out. But what's the plans? What's the future?
The plans. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I've got a few things like I want to do, but I just need to stay consistent. I'm just gonna keep doing my interviews and see what happens from there. I don't like to have plans because plans disappoint you. Because if you don't, someone told me if you make goals and stuff and you don't achieve them, even if you've had a good year but you haven't achieved this goal, that goal, you get disappointed. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think I can come back on that and say, I think if you have a marker.
Yeah, I'm not saying I live my life like, oh, get out of bed, what should I do today? I have like things I want to do in my head, but I'm not so hard on myself when something doesn't go to plan. As long as I've had I've done certain things I know I've actually really wanted to do, but we all have goals. We've all got like ambitions and dreams. But like last year, perhaps I wanted to be in a better position, but doesn't mean I had a bad year.
Yeah.
I had a great year, but in my head I'm thinking I could have done much more.
But that's the thing that drives it drives me for sure. Like the amount of times where I'm like, even this, bro, like, you just don't know who's listening. You don't know what's out there.
You don't.
You know what I mean? And that's the fact that, we bucked on it. I mean, like, do you ever think to yourself, what's the download situation on a Rinse episode? I mean, think of how many fucking people, like you say, Rinse FM is like, that's like a badge of honour, isn't it? That's fucking mad.
It is mad. It is. Rinse FM is so historic and have birthed so many DJs and MCs and like Genius and Slimzy, the founders. They're like, I don't think you can get like in pirate radio culture like they're the kingpins, aren't they? So man.
I wonder what will be the next chapter in how we consume music. What is the next?
I don't know. I was talking to my friend yesterday about this. I don't know. Because people say that radio is not as important. It's about it getting documented on YouTube and stuff like that. And like we were saying, I don't necessarily listen to pirate radio, and there's not much pirate radio is about anymore. There still is, but not as many as there was. I won't necessarily listen to the show live. The beauty of it, we can watch it back on YouTube. We can listen to it back on SoundCloud or Mixcloud. So I don't actually sit. There's no need for you to listen to a show for 2 hours anymore, there and then. Back in the day, we had no choice. If you want to hear the new Wiley dub plate, you're looking into Rinse 1003, 11 to 1 or 9 to 11 on a Sunday, whatever time there was on.
Get in your car and find that place. Yeah.
Bruv, you've got no choice and you have to tape it or you miss out.
Yeah.
Now, it's like back in the day, like EastEnders, you'd have to watch it at 8 o'clock. But now you've got BBC iPlayer.
Yeah.
Or you'd have to wait until the Sunday where you'd put the repeat on.
Yeah. It's choice, isn't it?
Yeah, now you've got so much choice and whatever. It's not. The way we consume music now is different. And the way people are releasing music is so, in a way, it's bad because music's so throwaway. And
I think that's the biggest problem with me. It's not the platforms that curate it. I think the problem is the artists and the way they put it out.
It
doesn't help.
It's like so many artists don't care. It's like the music will drop, they will tweet it, they'll do a campaign for a week, and then after that, who cares? That's old. We don't play that anymore.
Yeah. And how many people actually gravitate to a record like that? So if it's not treated with respect and the attention it deserves, and what makes, particularly if you, as an older listener like I am, well, then if you ain't respecting it and it hasn't got a campaign...
Why should I?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I remember Eskimo. That was beating around every single pirate station for about a year. In this day and age, it's like, brother, people really going to play one instrumental like that for a whole year? People get bored so quick now.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like, you do well, yeah, for someone to be battering your tune for 6 months.
But I think
that's an achievement.
That's an achievement.
That's such a big achievement now. Back then, that was like...
Yeah.
that was a given. Like,
But it's mad to think, isn't it? That, and when I say it's back in the hands of the artists, and it's kind of, right, artists should play up but shouldn't play up to social media. Remember, this is a social platform for people being social. You don't need like an injection of you coming up every 5 minutes going, here, have this, here, have this. It's like, just bad salesmanship. But now that's become the norm.
it's all now.
Yeah.
It's all now. Like, I need to. Sometimes it's not a race. You've got to like, bruv. It's not. It's about what you're putting out. It's not about the quantity.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Do you know what I mean? I know I had to put out quite a few podcasts, and so do you. But at least there's a quality there.
Yeah, it's consistency.
Because do you know what I mean? We've got so much choice now.
The music thing it puzzles me because I do believe in quantity over quality in many respects. If you're gonna go down that social media path, like, you know what I mean, quality is always subjective. But when it comes to music, and you're trying to make a livelihood off of it, and you want things to last forever, so that you're constantly turning around cash, man, you're chasing a tail if you're doing music the way it's going on at the moment.
There's a few people like that Afrobeat song, that Joanna tune.
Yes.
That done the rounds. That's still beating now, and that come out maybe 2 years ago.
But would you say that songs like that were like they were like anchor genre tunes, like maybe?
Oh yeah, that you're right. That was an anchor genre tune. Yeah.
Like I'm thinking, what's that?
Benga
and Koki, yeah.
Night.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Will never change. It's you could play it anywhere. People remember it. Twist
And
them out.
they only come out. They're only like once every other year tunes, isn't they?
Yeah. If that, sometimes
If
5
that,
years.
If that, yeah. I remember Scream, Midnight Request.
Yes, there you go. Twist them out. Dillinger.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they are once every 5 years that define a genre or an era, aren't they? Yeah. And there's
So yeah, maybe there's an argument that I reckon the next thing that will happen, the future, something has to happen that allows these things to incubate more, like new tunes. Something. I mean, pirate radio was awesome for that. Like you say, it went round the houses.
Yeah. But now obviously the pirate radio thing's it's not what it was. It doesn't need too much risk in it.
There's going to be a new platform at some point that will be legitimately, I don't mean like Spotify rinsing people for cash. I'm talking about like scene-driven, creating new superstars with longevity built within that thing.
Listen, the way music's changed in the last 10 years, this next 10 years is going to be
madness.
It's going to be, I'll come back here in 10 years and we'll have another talk and we'll how things have changed. Even the past 5 years, things have changed. Yeah. Even the grime scene, everything, all the genres. Like, remember back in the day it was about funky house, like garage, jungle, drum and bass. It's crazy.
Crazy. Shit's changing. That's the future.
It's the future, boy.
Future. Well, listen, again, it's past.
I need
You've
to
done
go,
well, bro.
man.
You've done it well. Listen, nothing but love to you, Argue.
Respect,
man.
brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Argue inside the place.
Nice one. Respect.
Killa podcast. Thank you for tuning in. You know what it is, all right? Stay locked in. Don't talk to any strange people, all right? Stay lucky.
Nice one.
Peace.
Killa Podcast Live Show. Step into the live and dangerous world of music and street culture's #1 magazine platform, the Killa Podcast Live Show. Special guests alongside performances, news, reviews, profile pieces to a live studio audience. Your monthly live stream is here. Hit Facebook page Killa Official.